time we were looking at qualitative data. If you remember, that's the kind of data that you really can't do arithmetic calculations with directly. I mean, what does it mean to take an average of the colors blue, purple, and orange? What does it mean to add blue and orange together, right? I mean, really, mathematically, it doesn't make sense. There's quantitative data, though. That's the kind of data that you can actually do arithmetic with. That's like test scores, for instance. That's like, stuff like that. Or like currency, like prices on food and stuff. You can do calculations with that. So here I just want to go through that briefly here. Basically, to display quantitative data graphically, what we're mostly going to use are frequency tables. We've seen that already, and histograms. And a histogram, it is like a bar graph, but the big difference is that the horizontal axis is the number line. The vertical axis is still the same. It still represents frequency. If you remember, though, with qualitative data like the colors, the favorite colors, and we had the frequency table for it, the horizontal axis of the bar graph were the different colors that came up. I think we had like orange, green, purple, those kind of colors. Here, though, with quantitative data, it's going to be the number line. It's going to look very similar to a bar graph. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's dive right in. You can actually make a histogram using Google Sheets. It's actually very similar to, what we've done already. You type the data in, you highlight it, go to charts and all that stuff. The only thing that's really annoying about it is that the data you have to list in either one column or one row. I think it has to go into one column though. What you can also do, I'll show you an example today. You can change what they call the bucket size. That's just the width of each bar in the histogram. That's just the length. That's just the what do you call it? It's the length actually. I'm sorry. It's the length of each bar, of the base of each bar in the histogram. You'll see what I mean when we do an example though. Remember, the height has to do with frequency. How many there are. Basically, I was gonna say. Oh, also, I found out. I don't know how I missed this. You can use Excel. You can access it online through your Oneonta account. I think what you do is you go to My Oneonta, and I think it's one of the software tools you can. I don't know if you could download it, but I think you can access it, like Office 365 or something like that. I just forgot about that, and that's why I used Google Sheets. But again, if you want to use Excel, that's fine. I just thought Google Sheets would be easier for everyone to access. So, okay. You can make histograms through there as well. But I will go through how to make one in Google Sheets. And again, you have to list the data in one column. So unfortunately, you can't use really a frequency table to get a histogram. You can also, I was going to say, again, the bucket size, let me just say this again. That's the length of each base. This is the word base. I forgot the E of the bar. Remember, the bar's height is the frequency. But this is an example. So let's suppose, we had this frequency table. So we want to make a histogram. Okay. Well, what we're going to do then is we have to list the data, and you just list it according to frequency, right? You have 0 listed twice. 5, you're listing once. 12, you're listing once as well. 15, you're listing twice. And you keep on doing this with all the data. And once you do that, you'll actually be able to make a histogram. Let me actually go through that right now. So I'm going to have to share my Google Sheets. So let me do that. Let's see, let me just delete this. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. So let me go here. I'm just going to get to Google Sheets. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully you can see it now. There we go. Okay, so again, here I have that same frequency table already listed. You can see in column C, I actually listed the data all in one column. I think I might have said you could list it in one row. I think you want to list it though in one column. So this is all that data from the frequency table. So it's just like before. What do? I'm going to click and highlight it. As you can see, I'm going to go to Insert, go to Chart here. Okay, now we don't want this chart. We want a histogram. So I'm going to go to Chart Type. And I mean, here it says histogram already because I've used it a few times. If you can't find it there, if you scroll down to Other, you see like a bunch of graphs here. You can, if you click and leave your mouse there, it'll tell you what kind of chart it is. So here we have a histogram chart. This is a radar chart. We have a histogram chart. Okay, so let's click, and we get this. Now this is not what I have on the slide because you can see here the bucket size, that is the length of each bar, here is 5. I'm going to change that. So what do? I'm going to go to Customize, click on Histogram, and notice here it says bucket size, right? On auto. How did it choose 5? I'm not too sure. I'm going to change it to 2. If I change it to 1, this is what we would get. If I change it to, I don't know, 10, we would get this. That's not, well, it's not terrible, but it's not what we have. I'm going to go to 2, and this is what I have. And you could put the minor grid lines in if you want. I didn't do that with this one on the slide. Let me just see if I click on minor grid lines, see? And then it says, you know, count and everything. So you could do that if you want. Okay. But this is what I end up getting, as you can see. Okay, that's good. So that's how you make a histogram using Google Sheets. I mean, I know this is not statistical software like Minitab. I actually haven't used that since the year 2008. So actually, yeah, so I haven't, I don't know much about it. So that's why I'm sticking with Google Sheets. Okay. All right, so this is our histogram here, okay? I was gonna say, okay. That's how we get it, histogram. All right, so let me go back to the slides. Are there any questions about this? Okay, let me go back to the slides. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go, good. Okay, so those are the slides again. I did email everyone the notes, so you should have the notes in your email inbox. So this is just another example. So again, we have, excuse me, we have this list of test scores, right? So here I don't have a frequency table, but we have a list of test scores. So again, what you can do is you would put that list as a column in Google Sheets. And then of course you would make the histogram. I mean, here you can see the bucket size. I'm guessing it's either 1 or 2. I know it's kind of hard to see it, but Normally, I would make it so that it's easier to see what the bucket list size is. So just letting you know. That's another example of a histogram. The book doesn't, you could actually draw this by hand, but I'm not emphasizing that because, again, we're in the online environment. So I figured it'd be better to focus on Google Sheets. So we have that example. This one originally I was going to let everyone try. I did skip over it, and I did it with the other class, so I'll do that with you as well. So basically here we're saying, let's suppose we have this list of test scores. We want to make a histogram for it, okay? So I'm going to have to go to Google Sheets now, again. Okay, let me just start a new one, new spreadsheet. Okay. Now I got to share the new spreadsheet. I'll do it with you guys, don't worry. Okay. Oh boy. Good. Okay, let me just also pause the recording.